A God complex, a belief that you are God and are chosen to be better than everyone else. It's a common theme in a lot of anime, and it's just such an interesting topic to me. So I did what I always do and wrote a whole 6-page video script about all these different characters in anime that have a God complex. Characters such as Light, Lelouch, and so on are just a tip of the iceberg, so trust me, you're going to want to watch until the end of the video because it gets pretty interesting. These are the many God complexes in anime. I'm going to start off with Light, just so you can kind of get a feel of what a God complex really is, since Light is probably the closest definition to a God complex, because his whole goal is to become God of the universe and have the right to kill anyone who opposes him. How did he get to this point though? Well, Light started off as a normal person, but was then given a godlike power from hell, and that power was to kill anyone just by writing their name down in a notebook. His actions are guided by his own meaning of justice, which is quickly warped into a God complex. This is why no one should have this power, because our minds are not capable to make the decisions of a god. That's at least what I think the creators of the anime were trying to get at. Light was just so innocent in the beginning, but throughout the anime you just see his descent into madness until the final showdown when he finally breaks and lets out his true intentions. While Light is a pretty rude guy killing all those people, even ruder is Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Dio grew up poor and the only family he had was his drunk, abusive father. He poisons his father to escape him and is then able to live with the Joestar family because Dio's dad had previously saved their life. Dio believes because of all the misfortune he's experienced in his life, he's entitled to a nice, cushy life. This is also the reason why he hates Joseph, because he has only known a good life. Now, I've only seen part 1 of JoJo, which will change soon, guys. But while researching, I read online that as Dio grows in power, he changes his name from Dio Brando to just Dio, to signify his godlike way he sees himself. He also straight up believes he is a perfect being, and the more he accomplishes, the farther he falls down this God complex rabbit hole. He's a cool character, don't get me wrong, but it would suck if he was a real person. Next, I want to mention actually 3 characters in one from Code Geass, which are Lelouch, Snigel, and Charles. I've recently finished Code Geass, and throughout the anime, my opinion changed on who is really evil and who has the true God complex. But for those who haven't seen this masterpiece, let me explain the premise. So in this world, there's a power known as Geass, which gives different people the power to manipulate minds, and the main character's power, Lelouch, is to mind control. Lelouch uses his power throughout the anime to bring down the corrupt Britannian Empire. He kills his own family to reach his goals, and does so out of his own self-righteousness. A lot like Light. Dang, that's hard to say. What? When his plan finally works and he becomes so strong and finally reaches the top, he comes face to face with the Emperor, which is also his father. The Emperor Charles explained he didn't want to stop his son because everything that was happening was just trivial to him. And his real sights were set on killing God to become a god of the world and stop anyone from having the ability to lie, freely think, and act on their own. This is where my mindset completely changed. Lelouch just wanted to become emperor and control the nation and have a world where everyone's equal. But his father wanted to actually become God and control the world. In the end, Lelouch kills his father, but then a third person comes into the equation who wants to be God. Lelouch's brother Snigel. At the end of the series, he just wants to kill Lelouch, not to avenge the people he's killed or anything. He just doesn't want to lose to his little brother, which is a pretty petty reason if you ask me. Snigel just resorts to using nuclear bombs to bomb all the areas under Lelouch's control, and doesn't care about killing his own men or innocent people. Now this next part is kind of a big spoiler, so just skip to this timestamp if you don't want to ruin the ending for yourself. So at the very end of the series, Lelouch kills/mind controls everyone that opposes him, and single-handedly takes the blame for all the terrible things that have happened, and then orders his lifelong friend to kill him, so in an instant, all the evil in the world can go away, and his friend will also be named a hero. This is the only way Lelouch knows how to atone for his sins and take away the sins of the world. Pretty freaking dope if you ask me, and I think this makes him innocent of having a god complex, because a true person of this nature is evil until the very end, but not Lelouch. But what do you guys think? Who has the true god complex? Leave me a comment down below. Now this next character I doubt any of you have heard of, which is part of the reason I wanted to add them. Akito from Fruits Basket. This may just seem like a girly anime off the bat, but just wait, this anime gets super interesting. So the premise is this girl named Toru who starts living with the Somas because she is a recent orphan. And the Somas are a family of people who turn into these animal-based things based on the Chinese zodiac folktale. But they can't really control when they transform, it just happens when they touch touch a person they like, or get in a mood, if you know what I mean. Anyways, Toru just thinks this is a cool ability, but in reality, this is a curse that all the members hate having. Throughout the series, it is hinted at that there's something deeper going on with this curse, and there's a person at the center of it. We learn the flashbacks of some of the characters, and they all have a violent encounter with this character named Akito. She locks this one boy Yuki in isolation and puts all these dark thoughts into his head. She pushes this girl Rin out of a window and even stabs the man who loved her most. But all this is justified because she is the chosen one, an ideology that has been instilled with her since birth. All the members of the Zodiac hate this Akito girl. I know what you're thinking, this chump looks like a dude, but it's actually a girl. And in the dub, she has the same voice as Luffy in the dub, so that was kind of throwing me off throughout the anime.
You can't say what's real or fake, what's pretense or worship. No one can define those things. No one! The bond that we share is sacred, you hear me? Robin! There's still something I want to hear you say!
Anyways, the members of the Zodiac have to go see Akito every once in a while, and every time they go to see her, she does something weird or just hurts them. And it's very clear this Akito girl is bipolar, and she's just all over the place. While this is all going down, Toru is slowly meeting everyone in the Soma family, and is just a kind person in general, and that resonates with everyone in the family, because they've always felt unloved and an outcast. The family starts to get more and more attached to Toru, and that makes Akito start tweaking out, and she pulls up and tries to kill Toru once and for all to get her whole loyal family back. Toru just fights Akito's hatred with kindness, which freaks Akito out even more, and she just tries to use her manipulation skills on Toru, but it ain't working. The action finally climaxes, and Toru falling off a cliff on accident, and Akito finally realizes how much of a terrible person she is, and she's not a god after all. In the end, the members of the Zodiac are able to break the curse one by one, the curse being an eternal binding to Akito, and then they are all able to finally live how they want to, without a curse controlling them. The thing I hate about this anime most is how they try to make you like Akito at the end of the series. Like we're just gonna forget about all the screwed up things she did. I get her past wasn't the best, but it doesn't justify anything. Akito believes she was the chosen one by God to control her family into doing whatever she wants. Alright, before I get too freaking pissed, I gotta move on to the fourth character, which is Karl Fritz from Attack on Titan. This is probably not the first person that comes to mind when thinking of a god complex, but he sure does have one. But let's hold up and start with the first King Fritz. So King Fritz was the first king of the Eldian Empire, and he had 3 daughters with Ymir to spread their holy bloodline, as he put it. He wanted the Titans to live on forever, and even made his kids eat Ymir's body after she passed to gain all her powers. He believed they were the superior race, and many years later, at the fall of the Empire, the 145th King Karl Fritz was the one who moved many of the Eldians to Paradise Island, which is where present Attack on Titan takes place. Karl put the walls in place to keep the people inside the walls oblivious to the outside, and everyone on the outside unable to interfere with the Eldians' life inside the walls. Karl Fritz then used his godlike power of the founding Titan to literally manipulate the memories of thousands of people to knowing nothing about the outside world, and tricking everyone to see him as the god/savior that keeps them safe. He also gives this quote in the manga which perfectly sums him up as a character. Eldians, Titans, they should have never existed in the first place. I will accept the responsibility of righting this wrong, only until the day that this retribution comes. I want to live inside the walls. I want to enjoy this brief paradise, this world without conflict. I guess you could say anyone who has held the founding Titan ability has a god complex, because the will of the first King Fritz kind of takes over, and in that case that would make even sweet innocent Eren a bad person too. While Karl Fritz doesn't straight up call himself a god, Enel from One Piece surely does. Enel is the self-proclaimed god of the Sky Islands known as Skypiea. Enel is originally from the island of Burka, which he destroyed with his lightning powers. He recruited a few followers before destroying the island and traveling to Skypiea. Enel is probably one of the most powerful people in the One Piece world, with him being able to kill anyone except Luffy because he's made of rubber. Throughout the arc of the anime, the people of the Sky Islands are constantly threatened and are in fear of being judged by the wrath of God, as he puts it. He just kills anyone who opposes him, much like Light from Death Note. Enel's ultimate goal is to reach this place called Endless Verth. Verth is what the Sky people call dirt, and it's very valuable to him. The endless birthplace turns out to just be the moon, which is kind of weird because I'm pretty sure the moon is just rock. Anyways, Enel constructs this giant ship to reach the moon so he can finally become god of his own planet. Before he leaves, he destroys his palace and leaves all his henchmen there to die. This guy has no compassion at all and is a straight up psycho. You could say an American psycho. I also want to mention one of my favorite quotes from the anime about Enel. So being God means you can take anything you want? That's right. Life and earth belong to me. Now I shall take your life as well. That's pretty crazy, guys. This dude is probably the most far gone on this list, but he's still not as evil as our next character, Hiro from Inuyashiki. He used to be a regular high school student in love with manga like One Piece and Gantz. And then one night when he is in this park, he and this old guy named Ichiro are killed by this falling spacecraft. The aliens inside the spacecraft reconstruct their bodies as to not leave any evidence, and they turn Ichiro and Hiro into these cyborgs. As they learn more about their new powers, they realize they're probably the most powerful machines ever. Hiro learns all his powers way faster than the old guy and uses all of them for evil. For example, Hiro can hack any ATM and get unlimited money, and then later he even goes in this TV store and changes all the channels to straight up porn. Meanwhile, Ichiro realizes all the good he can do with his power, such as healing any disease or cancer. So he goes into all these hospitals and heals hundreds. On the other hand, this Hiro dude kills people for his own enjoyment since he believes he's above the mere mortals. This one scene in particular is really sick because he just spins around in a circle and then picks a random house to commit a murder. He kills everyone there, even the kids, and then makes small talk with the daughter after just doing all that to her family. Later, Hiro decides he's gonna kill everyone in Tokyo and takes control of all these killing machines, and it's just a crazy mess, dude. All the power has just gotten to this man's head. Ichiro, on the other hand, has been in the shadows honing his skills to take on the evil Hiro and save everyone. So in a way, Hiro is the devil and Ichiro is the hero/angel. At the end of the series, there's a meteor heading towards Earth about to destroy the entire planet, and both the cyborgs decide to work together to save the world. So in the end, maybe that Hiro guy wasn't all bad, but he still tried to kill all those people and believes himself to be much higher than humans, which earns him a spot on this list. And those are all the characters that I feel are worth mentioning. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of comments about Gojo, Griffith, and Father, but I don't really feel like they completely fit the God Complex archetype. So that's gonna be it for me today. If there's another anime topic you guys want me to cover, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching as always. I love you guys.